Welcome back everyone to another Lorcana video. We're diving back into DLC Hong Kong. We're diving back into DLC Hong Kong. And we're in the semifinals of this tournament. Remember, this tournament's best of one, which is really, really interesting. So looking at this match, we have Freeman on Blurple and Chua on Dogs over here on the right side of our screen. So if you like Lorcana content and you're excited for the next sets, we're going to be covering all the CCQs that are coming. There's a ton of them coming. So definitely subscribe to the channel, leave a like on this video. Tell me what you're most excited for in Winter Spell. Tell me about any of the rule changes that came out today. Pretty crazy stuff. Thanks for tuning in. Let's dive into this match. So this match, we can see the Blurple player, pretty good start here. Able to play Basil turn 1, ramp, and get down Royal Guard on turn 2. And that's so important for Blurple player if they're playing against Dogs, is to be able to get that sail into another 1-cost character, because now Daisy Duck can't quest freely the rest of the game, right? And so that's, he can still quest obviously, but that's, he's going to be able to take out Daisy on in one turn. So that, that stops 2 lore being gained there. And because of that, Chua just doesn't quest as the Dogs player, which, the Blurple player is not upset about too much. Obviously, he's building up a board for Tramp, which is nice. And we see the Cheshire Cat being inked and Cheshire Cat being played, which again is just another one of those really great tools that Blurple gains, this last set, to be able to go against aggro decks a bit more, and just an overall good card. Like there's not a matchup that playing Cheshire Cat feels bad. Like, I guess I was gonna say maybe against blue green, but even in blue green, it's like you can get rid of like a cat, like a Clarabelle Shift early, which is something that you struggle with otherwise. So yeah, I don't think there's like any terrible times to play Cheshire Cat. Which, if there's any Blurple players that are watching, feel free to let me know in the comments whether there is a terrible time to play Cat, but I definitely don't think there is one. So the Dogs player here, inking a Tramp, getting down a 3rd Daisy Duck, and then we'll play Go-Go Tamago, and we'll pass it back over to Freeman. So we see 3 Ducks, a Bobby Zamersky, and a Go-Go Tamago on Chewy's side of the board. That is a scary board to deal with for a Blurple player. Let's see if he has an Elsa here. So he does have the Elsa. He's going to go ahead and exert Go-Go Tamago. And we'll see Go-Go Tamago get taken out by the Elsa. And now, what's really important about him choosing Go-Go Tamago versus like the Daisy Duck or the Bobby Zamersky is now Elsa has 2 damage. That's really, really important for next turn, because he could boost with a Cheshire Cat, which would allow him to move that 2 damage and take out the Bobby Zamersky potentially. So yeah, really, it wasn't. It's not that complicated. It's not that complicated of a play, but like in my head, I was like, man, I would have probably taken out one of the Daisies to like stop the 3 Daisies from questing in a turn. But it's a really good forethought, really thought out play by Freeman there, which is why he's obviously in the in the semifinals of the DLC, which is crazy, right? So Chua, go ahead and he's going to activate the Lilo from his discard. And play it, and then he's going to be able to get that Tramp down and draw a bunch of cards. Obviously, you're going to have to discard them, a lot of them. So he gets to keep 1, obviously, right after looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards. So I'm curious what he kept. Like Under the Sea is pretty good here, if that's what he ended up keeping, because it would be able to clear basically the whole board except for the Cheshire Cat. So Freeman next turn, I think he's sitting on 1 card. I was gonna say if he has another Elsa and like Into the Unknown, that would feel great. But I don't think that's what he's sitting on. Okay, so he's gonna go and quest out here, right? So Daisy, 3 Daisies for 6. Bobby Zamersky go to 7. So he's gonna be able to hit 7 this turn. And we're gonna see some Daisy Duck triggers. We miss with a guidebook first, miss with another guidebook, and we get a Royal Guard. Okay, so he went 1 for 3 there on the Daisy Duck triggers, which is pretty crazy. That's not the odds that you're usually going to find. So now we're going to see some board cleanup here from Freeman, and it's going to be interesting to see how he decides to clean up this board. We don't know what's in his hand, obviously, but he can take out, Basil support onto like the Royal Guard, or take out a Daisy Duck, Cheshire Cat boost, and Elsa can take out a Daisy Duck or the Lilo. So he's going to be able to take out 2 of these 2 questers, but the problem is Tramp is still sitting there, and Under the Sea is a looming threat for Freeman that he can't really do anything about. So yeah, it's one of those things where it's like you can't, and it's like you can't really play around it, right? Like you can't play around it Under the Sea because like it doesn't matter if your card's exerted or not. It doesn't really matter what they're doing. Like they're just gonna be gone next turn. And that Tramp being a cost 7, like as long as there's one character other than that Tramp still on the board for Chua, like Under the Sea is gonna get casted next turn if he obviously if he has it. We don't know that he does have it in his hands, but definitely an option. Okay, so Basil's gonna quest, give Royal Guard support, and we will see that take out a Daisy Duck, as expected there. And let's see what he does with the rest of his turn. I think that was the obvious play. That was definitely gonna happen. Let's see what happens now. So we see Elsa go into. Oh, he does have it. Oh my gosh, he does have it. Okay. So we're gonna see that, and then I'm assuming we're gonna see Into the Unknown. If not, this turn was very, very weird. Because now he would not be able to take out. Okay, he doesn't. Okay, he doesn't have Into the Unknown. Wow. Okay. So interesting turn there. There is a world that Chua is not running Under the Sea. So like their open deck was at this point in the tournament. So Freeman's play makes sense basically only if he knows Chua is not playing Under the Sea. Because if he's playing Under the Sea, he basically just played into the only way that Chua can be in this game still. Because he could have taken out the Tramp because he had the other Elsa. Okay, so he is gonna play the Lilo. Gonna play both Lilos. And then draw for turn here. So yeah, I mean, if he knows that Chua's not playing Under the Sea, which in a best of 1 format tournament, like could be something that, the, it could help make the deck more consistent potentially because that's a dead card draw sometimes. Definitely good in the mirror in dogs, like to have Under the Sea. If you don't have it and the other player does, like you're in a lot of trouble. All right, so we're going to see the quest out here. It looks like, yeah, so I'm assuming Chua's not running Under the Sea. So Daisy Duck trigger into the Genie. Okay. So passes it back. Yeah, it's crazy. Like, yeah, my mind is just having a hard time wrapping around what just happened there, but I think it all makes sense assuming that he knows that he's not running Under the Sea. So now Freeman has a lot of options here this turn. A lot of options that Cheshire Cat can obviously be activated for some good value here. And then if the Royal Guards are going to be hitting for 2 at this point, and he could draw more cards later on the turn. He just pulled out a Genie with that Daisy Duck trigger, so he can draw 1 more card potentially. All right, so we see Elsa take out the Lilo. See a Demona and something else. I can't tell what the other card is. I don't think we're. Oh, it's Genie, obviously. Duh, it's Genie. Okay, so it's Genie and Demona. I don't think we're gonna see Demona come down. That would give Chua more cards, and everything's exerted currently, so like there's not any value to gain on that front either. All right, the Genie comes down, so now those Royal Guards are hitting for 3, which is important. Okay, he drew into a Tipo. So he does have the 2 ink to boost here, which is really important on the Cheshire Cat. So yeah, he could give Basil support, Cheshire Cat, and then boost and then boost that to take out the Tramp. I think that's what he's gonna do here. Okay, no. So he's gonna take out the Daisy Duck. So now Cheshire Cat has 2 damage on it. Because those Royal Guards are hitting for 3, right? So both Royal Guards can hit into the tramp and take it out, which I think is what we're gonna see. So we see the boost, Cheshire Cat, take the damage off of that oh. No, we're gonna see the damage go off of the Cheshire Cat and into there. And that's how safe Freeman feels in this game right now. Because he's leaving that 4 damage on Elsa, which is like a Gogo Tamago like big target if Chua pulls them. Yeah, I mean, I think that's the only way that Freeman loses this game at this point is if Chua pulls. I mean, again, we don't know. We know that Freeman knows his deck list, knows Chua's deck list. So we don't know how many Gogo Tamagos Chua is running, and we've already seen one of them. It's like if he pulls 2 more Gogo Tamagos and targets that Elsa, then Freeman would lose the game, and that's the only way he can lose. And so we're gonna see both those royal guards take out the tramp. So yeah, I think that's good sequencing there from Freeman. We'll see the Tipo Ink, and then we'll see a pass back. Okay, so let's see what Chua can do at this point. So Chua has the 2 Lilos in his discard. He's going to decide not to play those this turn. And yeah, so Freeman's representing what 2, 3, 5, 6, 6 lore on the board. So he's only like a 3-turn timer now. Chua knows this. So like the fact he didn't play those Lilos means that like whatever's in his hands definitely wants to come down. Could be. I'm not sure exactly what it'd be. Huh. Yeah, I mean these are the spots that like you feel like you have the dogs players dead, and sometimes they get back into the game. So tough decisions here for Chua, obviously. Let's see if he can find himself a way out of this. Okay, so he inks. Oh, he inks the Tamago. Okay, he puts the lady down. Interesting. Wow, that's a really really interesting play there. Huh. He could have played Tamago. Like I feel like that's a misplay, and I could be wrong about that, but he could have played. He could have played Tamago this turn and got up to 16. And then, which that would have been the only thing he could have put down. But that would put him at 16, and then like Lady comes down the following turn, which then allows him to pull one or both of the Tamagos back out of his discard. Because I think that's his only win condition at this point. Like this, Freeman's going to be able to continue to just like take out every single thing that he puts on the board. And like we haven't even seen any Hades from Freeman yet. So like there's a lot of options for Freeman to just like continue to control this board and like win the game here. So yeah, I don't know. Like again, I'm not a dogs player, and I don't want to say it's definitely a misplay, but I feel like getting that Tamago down whenever Freeman left that 4 damage on the Elsa, and you have a few more turns, right? Yeah, it's interesting. Which the lady also quests for 2, which is good. But like at this point, your opponent knows that you have a Gogo Tamago in your hand because you just pulled it out with the lady. So I would imagine that like that damage from Cheshire, like the damage on that Elsa is probably not going to stay there much longer. Like it's going to get boosted away just to like protect. Or he might, yeah. I mean, he probably just runs that into Lady with the Basil boost, and now it's gone, right? And so now you're sitting back with Gogo Tamago in your hand that you can Gogo Tamago up to 14 now, which obviously isn't going to be enough to win. Yeah, we'll see the quest out there from Freeman to get up to 8. Plays the Sail to draw a card, and he's going to ink that Iago to get down a Royal Guard as well with that extra ink, and he's going to pass it back over to Chua. Yeah, it's interesting play there, because like that kind of comeback mechanic for the Dogs player is one of those things that keeps you alive. So okay, let's see what he has here. Okay, another one. Okay, so another lady comes down, and we're gonna see a Daisy Duck. 2 Daisy Ducks come back out. Has he inked this turn? I don't think so. Okay, so he's gonna ink. Oh, we had another lady. That's crazy. Okay, so inks the other lady, and now he comes down with Daisy Duck. Okay, so things. Okay, we're back to being interesting here. So I think Freeman's got 2 cards in his hand. Let's see what he has. But I mean, the problem here for Chua is that Freeman's got what 1, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. Like he's on a 2-turn timer now. If he just like turns his card sideways, and like there's nothing that Chua's gonna be able to do next turn to get back in this game. Okay, so we see the Hades come down, and of course he's gonna let him draw 2 cards. I think he's drawing a double Demona there. Is what I think is what he just pulled out, which is not what you're looking for at this point in the game. I mean, it would be great if he had the ink to play it, but he unfortunately does not. Okay, so Inca Demona, he's sitting on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ink, and at this point I think he just quest out, right? Like just quest out and go to 16. And yeah, you're just like, hey Chua, can you win the game next turn, right? And the only way that Chua would be able, he's gonna. Oh, I like that a lot. It moves 2 damage off of there just to protect against a Tamago. Yeah, so like the only way that Chua would win this game is if he could play 2 Go-Go Tamagos this turn, because he'd be able to hit Lady into Demona and then get his 8 with 2 Go-Go Tamago hits. But obviously that's not an option because he doesn't have enough ink for that, even if he had the 2 cards. So yeah, I think he's in an unwinnable position here. Because, Freeman's sitting on 1, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 10, 11. 11 lore on the board. Like, he's not going to be able to clear off enough here. I mean, Under the Sea would get him somewhat close, but still wouldn't. Yeah, he's just going to scoop there. Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. Freeman played that really wonderfully. Like, he had a lot of turns that he had to sequence a lot of attacks and a lot of like Cheshire Cat movement and things like that. So he played that game really, really wonderfully for Blurple's like worst matchup, Dogs, right? Dogs kind of came up in the meta because Blurple was so prevalent along with Blue Green. And so like that Dogs is a deck that's made to kill Blurple. And obviously wasn't able to kill it that game. Am I wrong I could be wrong and I am wrong. Okay, this series is not best of 3. Or not best of 1, excuse me. It's a best of 3 series. So yeah, we have more games, everybody. How exciting! What was I thinking? Obviously, the or the Swiss rounds were best of 1, but once they got into the bracket, I guess we went to best of 3 for the semis here. So let's jump back into this game. Excuse me. Let's jump back into the game here. So obviously, Chua gets to go first this time. And Chua will go start off with a lady, like all good dog players should do, and pass it back over to Freeman. So obviously, as a Blurple player here, I mean, you knew coming into it like what you're playing, obviously, because we're in the bracket. So you're able to like hard mulligan into what you need here. So he was able to find a Royal Guard this time. So let's see if he found Sail into another 1-drop. Because you remember in game 1, that was really, really important to like for why he was able to like swing that game into his favor, is that he was able to like get his double 1-drops down to start competing for the board. So we'll see if he has. We see a Tipo in his hand. I didn't see a Sail. In this game for Chua, he's going to be able to go Bobby into a Daisy, which is not as exciting as the last game, right? Last game he had 3 Daisies down by turn 3, which was crazy. So yeah, we're gonna see the Tipo here. So we can see Guidebook ink into a Tipo. And then it'll be he's got a lot of good cards in his hand, so it's gonna be interesting to see what he decides to ink. to ink with that typo. Obviously, we don't get to see it because it's typo, but passes over. It could have been a Hades. I could be wrong about that. It was definitely a Sapphire card. All right. Chua does not ink on his turn, goes double lady. So now he's sitting with 5 characters on the board. Tramp is imminent next turn. Nothing Freeman can do about it either. And listen, nothing makes me happier than in the semifinals of a DLC. Freeman's reading the card, because he forgot what a card does. And I don't know what it is about the dog deck. I think it's just because, like, there's so many of the same character. Like, there's so many ladies and tramps in that deck that I get mixed up too. And, like, listen, it brings joy to my heart that I'm not the only person who has to read cards. And this is the semifinals of a DLC. All right. So Freeman goes with, a really great play on the draw as the Blurple player, getting down Iago, because Iago can obviously hit anything on Chua's board and take it out. So we see the Tramp come down, which is, again, not very surprising. That's exactly what was choreographed here by Chua's play. And obviously that's what the dog player wants to do. What's going to be interesting here to see is he running any actions to target that Iago? Because that would be a massive, massive tempo swing for Chua if he's able to, play the Dahlia to, target the Iago and take it out. Because at that point, Freeman sitting on Royal Guard Tipo. Not really what you're looking for here. But unfortunately, he wouldn't be able to play that card anyway because he doesn't have any 2-cost singers on the board. Everything costs 1. See the Leela going to the discard, which is not surprising. And then he passes it back to Freeman. So Freeman's going to be on 5 ink this turn after he inks, so we could see an Elsa. If he had Elsa into the unknown here, that would obviously feel great. Elsa, the Tramp, and then into the unknown it with the Iago. That would be a great turn for him. All right, so it makes me laugh that Freeman, once he decides something that he wants to play, he kind of just puts it out out there by itself. I think that's funny. Okay, we see the Elsa play come down. The Demona Ink is tough, and yeah, he does not have Into the Unknown, but he does have Iago and Elsa. That's gonna be able to take that out. So big puppy out of the way, but still a big board for Chua. Unfortunately, those ladies aren't going to be able to get that extra lore because there's no tramps on the board because of the tramp just got taken out, unless he has another tramp, in which case he'd be able to quest for a good amount here. Yeah, because if he plays tramp and then gives lady that extra attack, he could quest for, 2, 4, 6, 7, 10 this turn still, which would be pretty crazy. And, obviously Freeman would clean up the board next turn, the majority of it, but it'd be pretty gross. And there is that tramp, and I'm assuming that lady is obviously going to get the attack. Oh, and we see oh my gosh. We see the tramp come down of a cost of 1. And the judge is like, hey dude, you didn't specify what gets the attack for that, which obviously is a lady. And so Tramp obviously gonna get to draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards. And then he's gonna discard 6 cards, but whatever he's looking for in his deck, he's gonna have it, which I would imagine would be the lady shift. The one to pull the cards back out of his discard. Chromacon. Oh, he is running that action. He decides not to keep it though. And he passes it back. Interesting. Passes it back to Freeman. Decides not to quest here. I thought we would for sure see a lady quest. That 1-cost lady, because they would be able to quest for 3. But yeah, decides not to this turn. Which again, listen, I'm not a dogs expert by any stretch of the imagination, so I am not questioning Chua's play. I'm just saying that is definitely interesting. We see Cheshire Cat come down with the boost, take out the lady. And at this point, I think we will see Rafiki inked, and then we might see some questing here with the Iago and Elsa to go to 2, and then we'll see a pass back over to Chua, because there's nothing that Chua can really do about those evasive characters. All right, we see a Go-Go Tamago ink into a Chromacon. Okay, so things are getting interesting now. Now we're going to see the quest out. So we're going to quest for 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So Chua's going to go up to 9 here if I counted correctly. And Daisy Duck trigger into a Royal Guard, and he's going to pass it back over. Okay. Chromacon makes things interesting here now, right? Because now this cleanup becomes a lot more difficult because he can bounce back every time something gets banished on his side of the board. He can bounce a card back into Freeman's hands. The good thing for Freeman is that Cheshire Cat, as a boost character, whatever cards are boosted goes back into his hand as well. So like he's gonna be able to get a bunch of cards back into his hand here, and that boosted card could be, I mean, obviously it could be a bad card. It could be like a Hades or something, right? Like it could be anything, which is interesting. His hand is not great here. I think I saw Genie, Sail, Royal Guard. So like those are not the cards that you're looking for here. And yeah, this is now interesting. Like Chromacon, just like once the Chromacon touches the board, it becomes like everything changes, right? Everything becomes different. So yeah, I'm interested to see how a obviously really high level player or high level Blurple player navigates this Chromacon. Obviously, Chua would have liked to get that down like a turn earlier, to be able to quest out even more. But like now, like the majority of his board's gonna get to stay alive, which is great. Maybe not the majority, but like I'd say at least like half of his board will probably stay alive here, which is good. Yeah, and this is where like these decisions become very, very difficult and very, very complicated. Because if you choose the wrong pathing here, you know, like say, like for me, like the obvious hit is Iago into Daisy Duck, right? Then at that point, we either see the Elsa or Cheshire Cat bounce back to his hands, which means you're running out of damage there, right? And if the Cheshire Cat comes back to your hands, now you can't boost anymore this turn. Like you're not going to be able to like move any more damage, which would be helpful to like take out the lady or take out Bobby Zamersky or maybe help with the tramp, something like that, right? So a lot of options here, but the Cheshire or the Emerald Comic Con pathing here is really, really important. And he still doesn't ink this turn either, which matters, right? Like he can still ink. All right, so we're gonna see. Wow. Okay, so we're gonna see Iago and Elsa take out Tramp. All right. He's sitting on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's sitting on 6 ink. So if Cheshire Cat gets bounced here, which seems like the obvious option based on what's sitting on the board, it can be played and boosted again this turn, which I think is really interesting. So that makes this decision very, very tough. Obviously, Chua does have the option to bounce his own card back to his hands. Okay, so Elsa goes back to his hands. Huh. That's an interesting decision there, Elsa. So Elsa going back to his hand means that like he's going to be able to exert it, but it does cost 5, which, you know, is a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he could play it again, potentially. Yeah, so now the decision is, do we take out something with like Royal Guard, Cheshire Cat? We could boost with the Cheshire Cat and move damage over. We could replay the Elsa. A lot of options still here. Let's see how Freeman decides to navigate this. All right, Cheshire Cat is going to go into the lady there. So lady's going to be taken out. And we're going to see Royal Guard bounce back to his hand because that's the only other thing that could really take something out on his board. He could play Elsa again and use Elsa and Tipo to take out the Tramp if he wants to. But yeah, he'll just hit Elsa into the lady there. And then we'll see Chromacon get some more value and bounce that Trent or the Iago back to his hands. And we'll see Royal Guard come down, ink the Sail, and another Royal Guard come down. And we'll see a Tipo quest. Listen, we know Tipo questing in DLCs is where the value actually is. Okay, so at this point, Freeman's did a really good job of kind of resetting this game. Obviously, he has a massive tempo lead here, five characters to four, and wow, I think she was top decking, and he just he played the Lilo from out of his discard, and then top decked the Daisy Duck, which is crazy. Okay, ooh, the Daisy Duck trigger hits and Into the Unknown, which that's one of the worst cards you could hit on that. Okay, so now things are interesting. So Chua quested up to what? 11, 12, 13. So he's at 13 now. He's representing 2, 4, 6, 7, 8 on the board now. So he wins the game if Freeman doesn't do cleanup here. Obviously, Freeman's going to do cleanup here. The question is, what is he going to clean up and how is he going to do it? Because Chronicon obviously is still looming here. Man, that Into the Unknown would have been really, really important because like the Lilo would have been like he could have Into the Unknown the Lilo and it doesn't bounce back anymore. All right, so we see Cheshire Cat turning sideways into the Tramp. Okay, so Tramp is gone. We're gonna bounce Elsa back to our hands here, which makes sense. And again, what's funny about this is like Freeman knows whenever he attacks with Cheshire Cat that the most likely option is that Elsa's going back to his hand, right? Like, you know, he knows like he's playing knowing that that's what she was probably going to pick. So like that's part of the plan for his turn is that 5 inks probably going to get played again. Okay, so Royal Guard is both Royal Guards are going to go into the Daisy Duck. Let's see what he decides to bounce here. The Cheshire Cat bounce feels good, but the boosted card under it is tough. Okay, so we're going to bounce a Royal Guard back. Interesting. All right, Tipo is just going to quest to go to 4. We see the Elsa come back down, except the Daisy Duck, and it will obviously take out the Lilo, and then Emerald Chromicon can activate again. Emerald Chromicon? Is he going to activate it? I was going to say, I think I mean, obviously, I'm not there. I don't know what's going on, but it seemed like he forgot to activate Emerald Chromicon, and Judge just reminded him. I hope that's not what happened. Okay, we see the Basil Royal Guard come down, and it's really really important for the Blurple player here in this game is to make sure you continue to get wild on your board because Chromicon just continues to generate value here. Okay, so I don't know what she would just pulled, but if it's one cost, okay, we're gonna see the quest obviously to get to 16. Pulls a genie with the Daisy Duck. And then, is this a character to play, or is he going to ink it? Because if he inks it, it allows him to go double Lilo every single turn, which is like annoying to deal with for Freeman. But like, okay, interesting. Who I don't know what he just pulled, but did ink it and didn't play it. So it's got to be something I would imagine it's uninkable, and like maybe another Chromicon potentially. It is what it might be in his hands. But yeah, I mean, he's close to winning this game. I mean, he is there. Like, and obviously, Freeman's going to be able to continue to like clean up things, and that Basil is really, really important because Basil can give support to that Royal Guard to take out the Daisy Duck. Okay, so Basil support onto Cheshire Cat. Cheshire Cat will take out the Daisy Duck. Now Cheshire Cat can boost the damage onto the Lilo. And she was like already put the Lilo in the. Yeah, like that turn went so fast. Nothing, nothing sequenced correctly there. Yeah. Um. Okay, so he plays Genie. And another genie. So double genies. That always feels good to get down. He is gonna play Lilo out of the discard. Okay. Inks Ursula plays another Lilo. Okay. Passes it back. The problem with Lilo's coming down is that obviously the Cheshire Cat can just continue to snipe them, which feels really bad. But I mean, it's like you got to keep playing them, right? Like you got to keep putting them down and making Freeman deal with them, because if Freeman is dealing with your Lilos, he's not questing more, right? Like he's not getting closer to winning the game. And like again, I think we're gonna get to the point in this game where like most likely Chua is not gonna be able to do. Okay, so he bounces back his Lilo with the Chromicon. So Freeman, if he just quests out at this point, can quest for 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So yeah, he's on a 2-turn timer to win this game. So again, it's we're in a rough spot for Chua again. All right, so the Iago come down here. Ink a Hypnotic Strength. Huh. It feels like the judge just thought that him targeting his own hypnotic Iago with hypnotic strength would banish it. I don't think that's right, but I think that's the conversation that just happened. Um, so yeah, Chua here can go Lady, Tramp, and then he just has to pass it over. And we see the fist bump. So Freeman takes the series 2-0 as the Blurple player against Dogs, which is, I mean, that's a crazy series. I mean, obviously very well played by Freeman, and Chua just wasn't able to get that Chromicon down at a good enough point to like really put the Blurple player in a rough spot. And Freeman was just able to go wider and wider and wider consistently, which is how you counter that Chromicon, right? If you're only able to play one character a turn, the Chromicon is going to like just continue to bounce that character back, and you're not able to get wide. The Dogs player is just going to get wider and wider and wider. And what are you going to do, right? So great play there from Freeman. So he's moving on into the finals, which we know is a Blurple versus Blurple matchup. So if you want to watch that, it's already on the channel. So make sure you go check that out. But yeah, thank y'all for tuning in. It's another match from DLC Hong Kong. We're going to cover a few more of these as we're waiting for the next set to come out. So make sure you subscribe to the channel if you want to watch those. Please leave a like. That helps the channel out as well. And yeah, comment what you're most excited about for the next sets. And about roles or whatever you want to talk about in the comments. We're always looking at those. So make sure you comment down below. Let us know that you're here. But yeah, that'll be it for this one, and we'll see you in the next one.